Hey everyone, I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way, you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about comic book prices increasing. So there has been some recent information that has come out that potentially the comic books that you are buying right now are increasing between $1 to $2. But I know a lot of people are going to go, why is that such a big increase? Well, to the average person, that's gonna definitely not hit home as an idea for this actually having issues going forward. Okay, so explain it like this. As you guys know, for me and Professor Savage Dad, I myself buy a lot of comic books. It's just something that I do in my free time. It's one of my favorite hobbies I have, as you guys know, because I have a YouTube channel just dedicated to comic books and manga, right? So I myself have a pull list. So for anyone that's new to collecting comics or buying books on a weekly basis, what is a pull list? A pull list is essentially a character has a series out, and you just get the books when they come out from your local comic book store, or you buy them online like I have to because I don't have a shop around me, so I just buy my newest titles off of mycomicshop.com, and then I obviously would just, pay for the shipping when everything is totaled up in my order. Or if I can't get a issue from them, I'll just go to like eBay and then just buy it there, right? Now, another problem that comes with this is that, like, if you're a person that is like me and you have like 5-6 different books you're pulling, that $1 to $2 is actually going to add up on each of those books, right? Because there are certain books right now that are priced at like $3.99, $4.99. Oh, it's an oversized issue, $5.99. Now, keep in mind that
I've seen them at $7.99.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that right now. Aliens versus Avengers, that comic book that you guys saw me review for issue 1 a few weeks ago, or a month ago at this point now, at the time of us recording this video, guys, that book is $7.99. So if there's a dollar increase on that, that's an $8.99 book right there, right? There are certain books that are like literally $6.99 in some cases for every single publisher between Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, Image. Whether you're buying from Dynamite Entertainment or Titan Books, books are going to be increasing, right? Now, like I said before, I just told you about Marvel and DC for characters that I'm pulling. Now, what if I want something from Image? I think Image is going to keep their $2.99 to $3.99. But if you're pulling out books from IDW, which we know they overcharge on their books because they're fucking poor as fuck, they have to overcharge you on their books to make some money, or Dark Horse, or the other publishers, or let's say you're somebody where you're backing an indie comic book creator on like Kickstarter or from a comic or Indiegogo, guys, this is going to add up if you are factoring in, if you're actually pulling books from like the mainstream, quote unquote. And I don't know if this affects like trades or omnibuses or anything like that, because trades,
dude, I hope not.
Yeah, because trades are generally priced at like lowest $9.99 to $20, really, give or take. Like some website you go on, like In Stock Trades, they'll have deals on them. You buy them from like mycomicshop.com. Sometimes they like slash on the MSRP price. So like an example of this would be the Deadpool and Wolverine WWE comic book series that we reviewed on the channel, right? So that MSRP, so that book's MSRP, its retail price is around like I think $20, but on mycomicshop.com, because they know that book's not going to sell as well, they'll price it down to like $10.95, right? Plus shipping, right? So it really just does depend. But if you're a person that's pulling a lot of floppies, this might be pretty concerning for you. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And also, when you guys
dude, that's insane.
Oh, one more thing before you go over the information here. As you guys know, there's going to be a lot of ads on this website because that's how these websites, they make their money. So if you're watching this, obviously from a visual point of view, and you're not listening to this, oh, sorry, I'm a moron, actually. I'm kidding, guys. You know I have to entertain you here. Okay, jokes aside, if you're watching the video visually, this article was on avclub.com, and the ads are here. So if you're listening on mobile device, it's not going to matter. But if you're watching visually, then you're going to see ads here. And I do apologize for that. Can indie comics publishers survive rising prices? As single issues jump from $3.99 to $4.99, smaller publishers are having to get creative with their offerings. So this would go in line of like, you know, Spawn, which is from Image Comics, which is done by Todd McFarlane. He's pretty much set on the $2.99 price point. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not trying to get political for this video. I'm not. I know you guys don't like when I do that. But Joe Biden pretty much ruined the economy, okay? And everything increased. So Donald Trump coming in, you know, obviously, hopefully the prices of inflation go down. So maybe if that happens, maybe the books return back to $3.99 or $2.99. I highly doubt that anyway. For the past 12 years, go ahead.
Inflation, like prices never go back down, dude. At $2 a pop, you're talking going from a $6 or from a $4 comic to $6 at regular price. You might as well be nailing the coffin of half the comic book stores still managing to be open in the country shut.
Yeah. And they have to increase their prices to stay alive right now, because if you're a comic book shop, I mean, what you're mostly surviving off of is like the action figures and all that stuff in manga, right? There's probably a few titles from the mainstream that'll sell very well. Even guys, if we looked on the ICB2 charts, Ghost Machine essentially fell off. I'm not saying books aren't selling to some degree, but that's fallen off.
Yeah.
You know, like an absolute Batman #1 will get you sales, right? But that's not long lasting when you get into like the issues of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like that's going to fall off unless it has a consistent readership like Ultimate Spider-Man does. But even the other titles don't do as well as Ultimate Spider-Man. So the mainstream is not helping out.
Yeah.
The indie publishers have to, well, everyone has to increase their prices, right? But it mostly hurts you, the consumer, and hurts the comic book shops that have to basically try to potentially sell this crap.
Comic book shops are going to cut back so heavily on their ordering that they're going to feel it. Like no one's going to be buying these things. Like if the shops are ignorant enough to think that a spike of 50% is not going to negatively affect their bottom line with the economy the way it is these days, that would be you might as literally just start calling it. That's going to kill IDW. If IDW bumps their next to no books that anybody gives a shit about.
Their books started like $5.99 actually.
Oh, fuck that, dude. They're done.
The Naruto
the
Team
Sonic
and T crossover
that
the Naruto Team and T crossover that they just did this week. That book is I think it's $5.99 to $7.99 for that book.
For how many pages?
Oh, fucking hell. I think it was around 40 something, I think. I could be wrong.
That's insane.
Because I know IDW
$10 a pop for that.
Yeah, because I know I know IDW is the biggest right now, and in terms of like the publisher that charges the most. For the past 12 years, standard 32-page comic titles were priced at $3.99, with some titles, mainly for kids, so like $2.99. But prices have been steadily rising. More than half of all new comics in 2024 cost $4.99, with some going up $1 or $2 more with variant and stock card covers, or in some cases, extra story pages. This is also a weird gimmick that they do now. More, I'm not saying they didn't do it before, where like randomly you'll have a Batman book, and then there's a 6 to 8 page backup story, and they're trying to justify charging you an extra $1 for that. And that story has no connection to that Batman book at all. Stupid.
Yeah.
It might seem like a small difference, but it has big implications. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people just won't ever fully grasp what this means because they're too fucking stupid to understand anything. Guys, if you have 6 characters you're pulling from like Marvel and DC, so 3 Marvel, 3 DC, maybe you have like an Image book here and there, a Dark Horse book, all that adds up. That's an extra, so it's like 6 times, that's an extra, what, like $12 right there, potentially?
Yep.
Potentially from all the publishers you buy from. Image Comics co-founder and Spawn creator Todd McFarlane explained, for 20 or 25 bucks when we were younger, you used to be able to walk out of a comic book store with a pretty thick bag full of comic books. Now you can count them on your fingers. Yeah, back in the day, comics cost like 50 cents or $1. Now they cost $3.99. When I tell older people that comics cost $3.99, they're like, what? I used to buy them for $1. Yeah, it's not been a thing for a very, very long time. McFarlane raises an important point. With inflation hitting people hard, can the comic book market sustain a 25% increase?
No.
How does this
No, it
affect
can't.
the indies? While journeying through New York Comic Con 2024 and after, the AV Club sat down with several comic book publishers, including McFarlane, to discuss this shift. And we're going to get right into it. And this is going to be probably some jarring information for a lot of people. Because remember, guys, prices already have gone up significantly, and they're trying every gimmick under the sun to get you to pay more money for this stuff. There are a few key reasons to the recent industry changes. Cost factors have gone up for everybody, explains Damian Wazel, CEO and publisher at Vault Comics, whose recent series include Deathstalker and Godfather of Hell. He noted that in the 3 years prior to the crush card virus pandemic, the U.S. went through this massive run of paper plant consolidation and shutdowns. Then crush card happened and comic sales skyrocketed in 2021. But nobody could get paper for them, so costs went up. You've got some printers charging close to or more than 100% more than they charged in 2018, not because they have to necessarily, but because that's what they're doing. Then inflation has gone up, so creators need to make more. Yeah, the paper. Oh my God, if you guys hear the horror stories of printers and paper, yeah, that's not. Would make sense. Like, that is fully understandable. That's why you see a lot of the publishers go into the glossy paper format. I mean, if you buy that G.I. Joe compendium that I showed you guys on social media that I bought, that is glossy paper. All that's glossy. The entire thing. Not that I hate glossy paper, but, it's definitely on the cheaper side, right? As a result.
Is it? I don't know that the glossy paper is cheaper, dude. I thought it was more expensive.
It could. Well, to be fair, right
now,
have to
look it up and see.
As a result, the two comics behemoths, Marvel and DC, raised prices on many of their books to $4.99. Yeah, it's true. I buy them. I would know. A number of indies also followed suit. However, Marvel and DC have the advantage over indies in that they can do considerably larger print runs, which can reduce printing costs. Yes, because they have the best deals with the printer, so they can basically go, hey, I'm going to sell this much, cut me a deal. It's just how that works, guys. Indies generally have smaller print runs and therefore tighter profit margins. Yeah, if you're an indie guy and you go to the printer and you're like, hey, I need this much and this, you're not going to get the best deal because, well, you're an unknown nobody. Yep. That's just it. Marvel and DC are proven people to sell a certain amount of books. Like, keep in mind, it's the comic shop owners that buy the books, right, guys? So when you go into your comic book shop, because I know a lot of people still don't understand this, when you go to a comic book shop and let's say you see like Absolute Batman #1. Okay, so the shop ordered a good amount of that because they hope on selling those books to you. So if a person goes in there and buys an Absolute Batman #1, that's not necessarily what people view in the world of comics, right? Shops buy the books, you buy them, but that doesn't give Marvel and DC any money. The shops are what give Marvel and DC the money. So you need the shops ordering more. It's a weird system that we have here in comics where like the customer buying from the shop doesn't actually impact anything except for the actual shop, which is fine because I built up a grassroots scene. But I know a lot of people are very, very confused on that. They're like, wait a minute, the shops buy the books. So it's sales units and it's a whole different conversation. They also don't have the greater corporate profit edits of the big two. Further, some licensed properties can require higher cover prices to recoup an investment. Yeah. So basically, since IDW has TMNT, they're going to have to charge you a whole lot more because remember, IDW, it was revealed earlier this year or late last year, they had to overpay to keep Sonic, TMNT,
I bet they did.
And guess what? They also kept Star Trek. Good job,
God.
IDW. Good job. You kept Star Trek. Congrats.
Yeah.
You fucking
IP
losers.
Nobody cares about. Sonic sells for them, but
and guess what also we heard for IDW when it comes to this conversation, which is, remember how we went over it? They want to start doing their own separate stuff. So they won't have to like constantly pay other people for their
Pay for those.
licensed products.
Yeah, they actually. Oh my god, they actually want to create their own characters in the universe, like everyone else,
and not have to overpay people. Why are they
Yeah,
just
it's
thinking
funny.
of this
They're actually going to
now?
behind Eric July on that front, which is kind of comedic almost, really.
Pricing has been an issue in comics for a while because of this collector mentality that's become the mindset of everyone. Yeah, guys, this is a
No, that's dead.
You think so? But we also need to talk
I
about
don't.
that too.
In some instances, it does. Okay, so I'll give you the instances that it does. Now, anybody who's
Okay.
collecting just everything that's a number one that they find,
Mhm.
maybe. Now, see, then there's stuff like this. Now, I'm not a collector anymore, really. I'm a reader. But you had Transformers. You had successive G.I. Joe books launch and sell out and do well. Even Scarlet
Yeah,
sold really well.
Yeah.
This seems like a pretty solid idea right here that you can invest in and get a couple copies of the different issues or the different covers and collect these. Now, am I going to keep these? Nah, I'm turning and burning this shit. So technically, not still really a collector, but this is the collector mentality. You want a bunch of these because you want.
You're just trying to flip them on the secondary market. That's it.
Well, or you want them, or you want to collect all the covers. You want to have every piece of it. You want to have every.
That's why they do the whole 1 in 25, the whole 1 in 20 variant covers. Because
I don't even remember what these variants are split at, but I got I think the best ones that they put out. Like this is probably just as a piece of art. This is good. If you're a Joe's fan, great cover. If you want to see a great artist and a good team shot, this David Finch cover right here, fucking gorgeous. The Baroness one, I got this because it was a chick with boobs,
that looks gorgeous.
And I figure, I figure that might move on the secondary as well. This one, I'll probably keep that. Am I going to pick up issue 2? I don't know. I might wait for the trade. But these, I'm just gonna put them up on eBay.
But that's only working essentially in the collector market for a new number one. So that's why you guys have seen basically all these like new number ones come out. And keep in mind, the variant covers get lesser and less with each subsequent issue. So an example, Batman the Brave and the Bold, number 1, came out in 2023. 20 some variant covers right there. Sorry, 20 to 25, roughly. Okay. How many variant covers do you guys think are at Batman the Brave and the Bold, issue number 18? 1. Maybe. Ultimate Spider-Man. Number 1. Came out last year. Okay. 33 variant covers. I'm not shitting you. This is also counting the reprints too. Yeah. And then every subsequent Ultimate Spider-Man book got lesser and less variant covers because collectors love coming in and buying their ultra rare variant covers for a number 1 new book. Transformers, the one from Skybound and Image. Transformers 1. Ton of variant covers. The really good looking ones, those are worth a lot of money. The other thing with this mindset of the collector is a lot of people are doing this in different fashions. So the first one will be Marvel. Let's see Spider-Man. So the Amazing Spider-Man run that just ended with Zeb Wells. I haven't read it yet. I will eventually do it in trade for you guys as a treat. It's going to be a really, really banger series right there. Shameless plugging. I'm just kidding with you guys. So Marvel fans do this a lot. They'll collect an entire series of a character, and their mindset is like this with the MCU. It'll get better eventually. They don't want to break up the whole thing. And as the collector, if you collect all of them, you could sell it off as an entire run, right? Because a lot of people, when they buy comic book collections of a run of a character, they want to make sure it's all the issues, right? Or they do a thing where, hey, maybe this series gets a lot more better word of mouth over the years. This is going to be a rare variant cover that this artist may not do. There's a lot of mentalities that go through it. So the collector mentality is there. I just don't think it's in the ideas that they're saying, but I could get it. Notes, James B. Emmett, senior editor of creator-owned projects at Mad Cave Comics, Mad Cave Studios, home of Gotcha Man, the Hex Seals, and others. But also to make sales make sense in terms of printer costs, shipping, paying our artists, paying our writers, and just making sure we're breaking even on the floppies. Yeah, that's the problem with the floppy format. He said it right here, making sure we're breaking even in business terms, because Savage, I know this, breaking even, guys, is not profit. Profit is the money you get to take home after things are paid for. Breaking even just means essentially you lost. No one wants to break even. Go to any business owner and be like, would you love to break even this year or make profit? If they say break even, you just never talk to that person ever again. Please honestly disassociate. Actually delete their phone number.
Wandering away.
Yeah. So that's the thing is, that's why you could kind of tell Marvel and DC want to move away from this like floppy format and potentially just sell graphic novels in the future to like a Barnes and Nobles or a Walmart. That's why you saw DC do the compact comics idea, because they don't make anything on floppies. Like I couldn't, like, why do you guys think DC just relaunched their whole, not technically they didn't relaunch, it's a sequel launch. The sequel launch, which was all in. Why do you guys think they did that? New number ones for a bunch of their same characters in a different universe. Yep. So it spikes up the prices of the floppies and they can get a spike in sales. That's why they did it. Marvel did the same thing earlier, and that's why DC did it, because they saw how much money Marvel made off doing it. The company settled on the $4.99 price with $6.99 for books with slightly longer stories or alternate covers, which is comparable to other indies pricings. Variants are more expensive because they're lower print runs, so their markups are higher and they're more exclusive. Yeah, that's just, variants are not the mass print covers. So here, I'll just give you this idea.
Yeah.
This beef jerky stick right here, okay? This Slim Jim. Okay, so just pretend this is a comic book cover. So this is a mass print Slim Jim cover, okay? Okay, this is everyone can get it, right? But if this Slim Jim cover I have right here is like pink and it glows and it makes wishes, well, that one's gonna cost more money because there's less of it out there. So the variant covers, there's less of them out there, so there's more reason to have the price go up in the future. Emmett said, we're still playing in the world of comics in that way because people want to collect those things. Yeah, there's a huge market for people that just collect variant covers or collect all the variant covers for a character. It should be noted that the variant craze and intense speculative collecting that dominated the early 90s helped lead to the great comics crash of 1996. Variants have become popular again, and they have raised the prices of specific issues some way beyond $10. Yeah. Batman the Brave and the Bold is a $7.99 comic book right there, guys. If you get 64 pages, but just letting you guys know that. Perhaps because of this familiar model, comic fans so far seem to be willing to deal with the recent price hike. The standard of 22 to 24 pages of a story per 32 pages has not changed. Yeah, a lot of people still ask this. It just depends. Some books are 22, some on average are 32. Now, then again, keep in mind these are books that also have ads in there too. So it's 32 pages, but it's 30. It's like 29 pages essentially. Although some slightly expanded comics, notably first issues, cost a little more and offer more content. That's another tactic that has been more popular in recent years. Yes, Rook Exodus did this. Fucking hell, Ultimate Spider-Man #1 did this. Some indie and you get the Transformers Skybound issue. That one definitely for sure did it. Some indies are still drawing the line at $3.99 for a standard floppy, including Dark Horse and Image. They are. They both have more expensive titles, but with larger page counts, like Dark Horse's recent Headless Horseman anthology and Image's Precious Metal series. Our current standard prices are expected to remain the same for the time being. Kara O'Neill, VP of Marketing for Dark Horse Comics, tells the AV Club, we do pay attention to changes in the marketplace and what other publishers are doing as well, as sale numbers are reported in the industry. Our goal is to remain competitive while also being mindful of what comics retailers and fans can afford. It is a tough market, but we don't want to make comics unapproachable for the community. God Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I
can understand that.
Yeah, that's the thing. The industry has to understand this. If you keep increasing prices, that will drive away people. They literally have driven away so many people already And it's not even just the prices of the book. People were fine with paying for the books. It's the storytelling that just got absurdly bad, honestly. Mainly from Marvel and DC.
So much of it did, dude. So much of it.
Reboots. DC does constant reboots. Marvel does constant reboots of number ones. It's just an endless cycle of purgatory of shit.
It's like, no, dude, I liked picking up issue fucking 249 of fucking Spectacular Spider-Man, issue 500. And they like to fucking go back to these numbers after they fucking broke the continual fucking...
That's Marvel. Why don't they just get a new creative team? Why does it always have to go back to number one? Just get a new team.
New creative team. No new number one. I don't need it. I don't give a shit. Back in the day, not every new creator needed a new fucking number one. Now, if you're going to do something wild, like here, it's crossovers, weird extra books, He-Man and Ninja Turtles, like that's what comic books is fucking about. This holds some interest. That's fine. But like just renumbering every time you change your underwear, I mean, people are so used to it these days. Nobody.
I'll give you an example. Iron Man. You guys remember that Iron Man? You guys remember that Iron Man series that was going from Jerry Duggan? Guys, they didn't reboot Iron Man. Jerry Duggan's run was canceled because of low sales, and they did Iron Man number one with a new creative team. Why didn't they just do a new creative team on the issue number they left off from the previous Iron Man series? But they have to do a reset. Yeah, that's seriously all Marvel can do. That's all Marvel is good at. Knocking characters canceled because of low sales. Back to number one. They do it for Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch can only get to 10 issues. Back to number one. Iron Man, 15 issues. Back to number one. Deadpool, 15 issues. Back to number one. This latest point is particularly important.
It gives a shit.
Comic book sales skyrocketed. This latest point is particularly important. Comic book sales skyrocketed because of the pandemic lockdowns from 1.28 billion in 2020 to 1.91 billion in 2021. Keep in mind, this is all disingenuous for these people. Okay, I'm not saying AV Club did this. That's Amazon sales. Books on Amazon and eBay sold that much, not from shops. Okay, because I know they'll lie about that. And $2 and 2.1 billion in 2022. They slipped to 1.87 billion last year. Most of the pandemic growth was via graphic novel, manga, and trade paperback sales. Yeah, not floppy. Not floppies, okay? Individual comic book sales have stayed relatively the same over the last 3 years. I mean, that's just means it's stagnant. It doesn't grow, but it doesn't decrease either. That's bad, actually. Although they have ticked up a little bit. It just means it's boring as fuck. With digital showing signs of growth. Yeah, Marvel and DC are pushing their digital apps, right? Sorry, Marvel and DC are pushing
again. I thought they failed.
Read comics digitally. Marvel has Marvel Comics Unlimited, which is okay, I guess for them.
Yeah, but they used to have Comixology Unlimited, and nah, dude, I thought those were chalked up as failures a long time ago. They really are seeing growth, really. I'd really like to see how many subscribers they actually have.
Sorry. How many active subscribers they have? Not ones that bought it and just forgot about it.
Exactly. Oh, my uncle got me this for Christmas because he's
I'm the cheapest guy on the block, McFarlane says. I'm an advocate of trying to deliver as much quality at as low a price as possible. I was talking to a couple people at New York Comic Con, and they said that Marvel and DC might have overdone a bit of a good thing. Might have overdone. Todd, you're too nice. Stop it. Yeah, they screwed everybody over.
That's just his Canadian coming out and showing, dude. He's being way too Canadian.
He's being a little too nice. Oh, Todd, you're too nice.
Oh, way too nice. Like, bro, chill out.
So they're actually coming down from their $4.99 to $3.99 on some of their books. They're going through a cheaper paper stock, and they're figuring out ways to be able to do it. McFarlane, who has had a massively successful career that spun off into toys and other media, has been open about the fact that he doesn't need the extra money. Guys, and that's the thing about McFarlane that makes a whole lot of sense that a lot of people won't understand. Guys, he's so filthy rich, not from comics because he's bigger in toys and everything else.
Yeah.
He can price his line at $2.99 at Image because he doesn't need
Yep.
to. He's one of the few business people out there where I will honestly say he doesn't need to make a profit from comics. It means nothing. It's mostly at this point a tax write-off, and he can just pay his artists. He only needs to make enough to pay his artists. And even that doesn't mean anything because he could just pay them out of his own pocket. He doesn't need the money from Spawn Comics to do that. I've
Nope.
never seen
All
this
good
ever
on
in
his
comics
own.
history. Yeah. He wants to be loyal to his fans the way they have been to him. He even upgraded to better cover stock. That's because Todd knows what he's doing. Why do you think he's literally richer and better off than 95% of people in the comic industry?
Dude, I'm
utilizing a different strategy.
Even keeping Eric Larson's book alive. I'm like, who is picking? I was asking earlier, like Savage Dragon is 200 issues in. Like, people read Spawn. Spawn's been around. It's a household
huge,
thing for if you're a comic fan my age or even your age, you know what Spawn is. Hell, you don't even have to be a comic fan so much. You'll at least be vaguely familiar with Spawn. He's not Spider-Man or Superman or Batman, but he's out there. He was in the zeitgeist for a minute. It's got a good audience. Savage Dragon, though, I didn't think that was still in print. Who is reading that?
And Rob Liefeld
Nobody knows
is
what
going to
that
come back
is.
to Image and do Youngbloods. Bro, that's about to bomb in 5 issues. After issue 5
issues.
Renew number
5
1.
issues.
I give it at least 5 issues,
bro. Yeah, but it's gonna take him like probably the next 3 years to get those 5 issues out. So.
Oh no. I'm gonna start myself there. He's gonna get to issue 10, new number 1, because people are dropping that shit after like issue 3. Just calling it right now. Utilizing a different strategy. DSTLRY is releasing larger format comics like White Boat and Spectrograph that have been between 44 and 52 pages of story in every issue for $9. Somna number 1 ran 56 pages and retailed at $9 price point. By doing more pages at actually a cheaper price than 2 $5 comics for the page count, we can do bigger pages, better paper, spot gloss, and still have a great profit for the retailers and enough to profit for us to be able to do that, explains David Steinberger, co-founder of CEO Distillery. It makes a huge difference in terms of the feeling of collecting something. The Distillery team is also integrating digital comics into their plans. While single issue prices for digital editions equal those of print, see, that's a mistake right there. If you're going to buy a comic book digitally, it should not be the same price as a floppy. That should be way marketed down. But comics don't make as much money, so you're at the point now where you got to charge the same price as for a floppy physical as digital. That's crazy. That shouldn't make sense at all. So much more easy. Yep. It should be way cheaper to buy it digitally than buy it physically. Physically.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Stupid. The company offers a discount on $30 hardcover books, reducing them to $15, $20 in digital. Digital readers can also get 20% off print copies at conventions and have access to digital-only alternate covers. And the company is also creating digital collectibles. Jolie Jones was virtually signing digital copies at NYC. Virtually signing digital shit means nothing. But I do like that this company is offering something to make digital special. I'll give them that. For the True Blue Indies, the companies run by the creators themselves. The recent price jumps are challenging, so specific choices must be made. Writer, filmmaker Ted Sikora, president of indie publisher Hero Tomorrow Comics, says his company has always kept its prices at $3.99. Even with our series Bloom, there was a cheaper point where I really wanted to end the book, and it was way past 32 pages, Sikora recalls. But I also realized as an indie creator, people aren't going to want to try a new book for more than $3.99. So I ate the extra cost myself, and it ended up selling out twice throughout the country when it came out. So I feel like it was well worth it. We still made money because as long as you print enough copies, you can get your costs down. On the first issue of Bloom, we did about 10,000 copies. Sakura added that Kickstarter campaigns with exclusive covers, which cost more due to smaller print runs, can help offset the price of regular issues. Yeah, I mean, guys, Boom Studio does Kickstarters. That's how you know the industry is in some hot shit. Boom Studios, guys, is doing Kickstarters. That's not good. Through his Out of Time comics in print, writer Mike Spring has released his series Red, White, and Broke: Confessions of an American Superhero and the 8-Bit Slasher. His initial print runs are about 300 to 500 copies. His books are 24 pages of story at $5 each. His collected trade paperbacks are $20, and his 2 recent releases were 48-page square-bound one-shots priced at $10 each. These are interesting names. I gotta go check some of these books out. I haven't heard of any of these really.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go check some of these out. These sound kind of cool. Spring says fans are fine with pricing because I mostly sell them at conventions and on Kickstarter, and I think they're very commercial with what most indie books are selling for at conventions and on Kickstarter. But that's a different thing, though. People know going in generally on Kickstarter and conventions, books are going to cost a pretty penny. Let's just say that. That's just, people know that. You're basically just buying for the convenience of it. That's really all it is. The thing for me is my profit margin gets a little bit less every time the paper costs go up. I find that most people can see the value of the book. We are currently living in another golden age of comics because of the sheer diversity of titles available to readers and collectors today. A majority of that comes at the indie level, which is vital for keeping the medium moving forward artistically. But like the current streaming television boom, a plethora of selections can also overwhelm consumers. Yeah. Oversaturation is definitely a thing. It can be a good or bad thing in comics, but it really just does depend, honestly. Choice profusion also affects the economics of the business. Wazel noted, it's great to have options as a reader, but when you have a lot of options, it can get harder to pick anything. Yeah, that's the problem when you have oversaturation. Too many options kind of make so like, okay, do I buy this guy's book or I buy this guy's book? It's also harder if you back books, because then if you back a comic book on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, those books can be like $30, plus shipping actually, right? So it gets to be a little bit pricey. You see a little bit of that happening in consumer behavior, but it also just means that it's harder for any one thing to break out. So yeah, as you go more and more and more through this, you can see just, so many people are having to adjust due to the price increases of the books. The key is producing comics that readers actually want and knowing your market, says John, publishing director of UK-based Titan Books. Titan Books does Conan, if you guys don't know, recently, which also releases titles in the US, including the Gun Honey and Minky Woodcock series. Is your brand known? Is your story engaging? Strong brands with great stories and great art continues to sell well. Yes, he gets it. Yes, all that matters. Yes.
Dude, this is the same shit that Mark Millar has been saying for the past couple years. Chuck Dixon, like real professionals, guys who, it's weird. There are guys who were there with Mark Millar, there with Todd McFarlane, who don't get this at all. Or they pretend, moreover, they pretend not to in furtherance of the message. I mean, I don't know how to explain how there's a small, literal handful of big time legitimate creators that fucking understand why I'm not reading their shit anymore. Now, I might pick up Batman and Santa Claus, but if I read that first issue and that shit is ass, that thing's going, I'm going to give it to my kids. They'll probably tear the pages out, the first page. Either way, I may have bought it, but I'm not going to be back for the rest of it. Like, seriously.
I was going to bring up this. If you're an indie creator, just copy and paste this entire quote right here. That's it.
Literally print this out and eat it. Eat this on a
Yeah,
sheet of paper. Put it
what he's
inside your
saying,
body.
what he's saying is
Is the whole
what
game.
I've been saying to all the indie creators I've had on this show, my previous one. Some indie creators, I'm being just honest here. Some of your guys' shit is not engaging nor interesting. Some of you guys think your story's good because you made it, you put a lot of hard work into it, and I'm not knocking that, but not everyone's story's great, and that's the reason why sometimes your books are not doing good.
Yep.
It's not engaging. It's not interesting. The art could be good, and usually for indie, I typically see the art is very good, actually, for the most part. But if we're being completely honest here, the reason why it's not selling is because it's probably not that interesting, honestly. And that's just facts, because I'm a genius and a top G and a hot Riz master. All right.
It's not much, I'm not gonna lie.
Indie comics with unknown titles can be challenging. Publishers need to get creative with their sales and marketing efforts to get the product in front of their target audience. Unfortunately, there is not a magic formula for comic book success. This guy. Hey, hats off to you, John. I'm not pronouncing that. Just call you John. John Wachowski of Titan Books. You are my spirit animal. That is the best fucking thing I've read from a comic book publishing director, CEO in a while. Holy shit. No wonder why Titan Books does very well. And Titan Books aren't even a big person. Titan Books are like, I guess you could say C tier in terms of like market impact. While the market may be able to bear $4.99 comic books for now, it should be noted that a majority of traditional comic buyers are middle-aged adults, whereas young readers tend to like manga and graphic novels.
Yo.
Yeah, this is another hard pill to swallow.
Because they're $10.
Yeah, it's cheaper. Yeah, and you get a whole completed book. So, guys, a manga will have like 5 chapters, 110 pages, $10. $4.99 floppy, 24 pages. What do you think is more bang for your buck if your kid is asking for an allowance? Also, it's not just about the price point. Because the reason why it's not just about the price point is because people would buy the floppies, like you said, if there's a good enough story to buy for them. We might be at the point now, guys, where Naruto is more popular than Superman and Batman and X-Men and Spider-Man. Want to know how I know that? Conversations around the characters. You talk to any kid now, all they talk about is anime or mangas they're reading. Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, Naruto, Bleach that had a new 1,000-year war arc thing going on. One Piece. I can guarantee you kids know who Luffy from One Piece is. Probably even know and like him more than that's 100%. Crazy. That's insane. And hey, I'm glad kids are discovering those animes that we loved growing up. It's awesome. That's a great thing. And those are great animes, and I do love those characters. But it's Naruto more popular than Batman. You gotta be out of your fucking mind. I would never have thought of that years ago. Naruto, not just Naruto. Goku is probably Goku's for Dragon Ball has always been popular, but just think about it right now. Goku is probably more culturally impactful in terms of comic book sales and manga than Batman is to DC. That's insane to think about, really. Kids just like their manga more because it tells a cohesive story from start to finish. Yep. Those constant reboots and gender swaps and race swaps, those can take an impact at a single point. Trying to build a strong fan base of younger readers may be more challenging when some may perceive larger collections as better value for money. Yeah, and if you're going to be getting your kid any trade paperback or graphic novel, you're just going to get it when that runs over, and you'll just, hey, son, here's a DC Compact Comic complete run. Read that. See how much easier that is to buy than buying the single issues to get to that? And single digital issues are usually not cheaper than print. That makes no sense. That's just price gouging. Digital cost the same as physical. Get the fuck out of here. That's just such price gouging bullshit. According to a recent ICV2 report, spring 2024 sales held steady, but some comics retailers expressed concern over the effect of higher prices, variant and alternate cover tactics on longtime buyers. However, none of the publishers interviewed here are worried about a comics crash. Their slates are diversified by other formats beyond single issue sales. Although it's easier for the big two to deal with the price shifts, sales figures, not to mention the state of the US economy itself, over the months to come will show us how this will ultimately shake out. Oh, yeah, there's holy crap. So I know we just talked about a lot there and we went over most of our opinions about this, but I'll ask you, man, what is your
Dude,
closing thoughts on that? That was a lot to talk about when it comes to the market. A lot of things are changing.
Correct, and they've been correct. I mean, but thinking that this a price at the current quality level is going to be anything but dire for the industry is a bad idea. This is, I get if they have to do it, they have to do it, but they have to understand you are literally shrinking the market. And the market's already here, bro. Kids don't give a shit about what. If I ask my kids right now, they wouldn't know what an Image Comics is. Now, they might know what Marvel and DC is. We've watched Batman and Spider-Man, but you know,
well, they would know that from comics. They would know that from like movies.
Cartoons.
They know Marvel from movies, cartoons and movies. Animation. Yeah.
They don't care about the comics. My son would rather read Gravity Falls comics they made or Sonic the Hedgehog. He'll read that. IDW's definitely making money there with that to some extent. I mean, they're failing as a company, and the Sonic IP will inevitably end up somewhere again. How funny would that be if it ended up back at Archie Comics? I'd laugh my ass off. But yeah, it's no one's gonna pay $6 for a 32-page floppy. Maybe Comicsgate fans will step in and fill. I mean, hey, they'll drop $30 for a 40-page floppy that won't come out for 2 years. Yeah. So
2 years. That's generous. 4 years for quality, man. What are we doing here?
But the like people who are even dude, that is enough of an amount that you're gonna see market share of Amazing Spider-Man like shrink. Batman, you're gonna see that shit shrink. You're gonna see the overall copies sold go down significantly. And while maybe the economics of that works out, they're making more money, they're selling less issues, or maybe it doesn't really. What it's going to do is mean that there's less.
The thing I wanted to add to your point as far as like the indie scene, the reason why it hurts them more that the article didn't bring up enough, people got to factor this in mind. And I know what the Titan Books guy said is great. It's a great quote he wrote for the article and everything. What the indie people need to understand is there's some hard pills to swallow. Okay, please swallow this level of pills, guys. If you're talking about indie, you're actually lower on the totem pole, more than the big two, right? So when it comes to like the average person, they're most likely, give or take, gonna choose something from Marvel and DC. If people are having to basically slash their comic book budget, what are they likely going to slash out of their comic book budget? Probably that indie book.
Oh yeah, the indie stuff, the Image stuff, the weird extra, like you're gonna see people trying less different books, but you're gonna see an overall contraction from everything. You're gonna see the ICV2 numbers. You're gonna see that #1 book like probably chop off.
Yeah.
Fucking 20,000 copies or some shit of it less than what it was doing in the year beforehand. You come back and look at it a year later, you're going to see significantly curtailed numbers, and all that does at the end of the day is make the market this go from like where it was already here, it's going to be like here, dude. Nobody is dropping $6 an issue on shit books. That also means books like Deadpool and Wolverine World War III. I don't even know why you would make that. I don't even know why you would set out to make it. This is the ignorant thing that they're going to do. It's the same thing that so many other people do when prices and things get more expensive. They think that people are just going to buy shit. Comic books You aren't movies. You aren't even a streaming service as far as the zeitgeist and people's willing to drop money on something with very diminishing returns. You are on the thinnest of ice. And this is how all of this extra shit you see going on in the industry, all of these mini series, crossover, weird shit, that if it becomes kind of like the movie industry is now, where they pour a bunch of money into movies. They would only make trusted properties. Comic books could only really afford to make something that is a trusted property. It takes away a bit of the artistic flair, the creativity.
Yeah.
And it's going to end up homogenizing into the same thing that Hollywood is now, where there's like 5 different kinds of genres of film that they can make. They'll only really ever make about 3 inside of that genre, and they'll pour a ton of money into them, and they'll suck.
Mhm.
They just won't be good. Like look at the big creators that they'd have to hire to bring in. The Mark Wades. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. In all honesty, I don't think Jim Lee rehashing. If you looked at it, I guarantee you the numbers for Hush 2, Bat Family Boogaloo is not going to approach the original Hush story.
Oh, there's no way. Yeah.
Not even close. Not even close.
Oh, they even said
I mean,
the floppy sales have been not increasing, but they've been decreasing. They're just stagnant. They're just that.
Yeah. Well, this is gonna crater those, dude. This will crater.
It either
that
goes
shit
up
out.
it either goes up or down, or it just stays the same.
It can only go down at a price.
Like, is Jim
increase,
Lee
dude.
enough to move the stagnation of single floppy sales?
So if Jim Lee's books drop at $6 a pop,
there's no way.
You might get a few more people buying them, but
Yeah.
you're going to see. No, I'm sorry. I'm not showing up for $6 Jim Lee comic. I don't care.
I mean, it's going to be, well, at least the lowest price is going to be $4.99. We know it's at least going to be that.
Yeah.
How many pages? Probably going to be about 40, 36 pages in that range.
I thought they were still running 32.
I have the new Batman floppies that just came out with 153 and 154. Those are 32 right now currently.
Yeah. It's usually a 32 page flippity floppity.
And keep in mind, guys, that's how you know sales have become stagnant. Batman, Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man can't even move comic book single floppies out of stagnation sales. You just can't.
Not even close.
There's going to be a few bumps here and there on like a graph if you have it. There's going to be a bump here and there, but overall, all that stuff can't, like Batman titles, Spider-Man titles, Superman titles, Justice League coming out, that stuff isn't able to do anything, even if it is considered good and word of mouth is good, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is getting like a new generation of people to read comics. That's the problem going with a lot of hobbies that we grew up with right now. There's not like a new pipeline of people coming in, because the reason why comics, along with like sports, need a new pipeline of talent coming up, as far as like not just creators but readers, because that is what keeps a hobby alive, is new generations coming in. Their parents pass it down to their kids, and their kids pass it down to their kids. Well, if we're at a point where the passing down stops, well, it's not like they stop reading comics. If they just stop reading comics from this country, they start reading American comics, you know, like stuff from here. And there's not enough indies making an impact to really have the parents give their kids the stuff like that. And there's some really great indie stuff out there. There really is, but you know, it's never going to amount to a Batman book selling well or a Superman book selling well. It's just how it's going to be viewed amongst people, you know? So yeah. And as you guys know, for me, my final parting butthole in my wife's butt. I'm joking, guys. My final thoughts on this is, you know, Jordan Peele's newest movie, Beep. Okay. I get it. But, you know, as you guys know with me, when it comes to this stuff, comic book sales for floppies we know have been not good or just haven't increased at all. Kids are reading mostly Dogman, Scholastic books, manga, you know.
Tons of Dogman.
New Dragon Ball Super book drops, new Boruto manga drops, Bleach, My Hero Academia, all that stuff drops right there. Another problem is, you know, sales increasing already on floppies. keep in mind, if the sales are already stagnant and it goes up $1 on each book, or maybe $2 like an oversized or a backup page story book, you know, that's gonna make people not want to pulp that book anymore. That's how it works.
Nope. The economics of that is that the marketplace will shrink and less people will pick the shit up because less people will care. Just is what it is.
Well, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, signing out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces.